What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Training Talks. Today, I've got a lot that I want to share as far as nutrition and things like that go. And, recently I have been focused on my diet, right? I have been following the nutrition app that we have at Tulsa and Owasso Training. And so I've tracked my macros for years and years and years, and probably for the past, 3 years at least. I haven't been as consistent with my tracking. I know about how much protein I try to get, but honestly, I was just kind of intuitively eating, just eating whatever I wanted. And, it was okay for a time because I kind of knew about how much to eat, but I wasn't as detailed as I could have been. And, there were some goals that I personally have, areas of my body that I want to tighten up, some things that I, just want to get better at. And so, along with a lot of our clients, I have joined in and started tracking my food. And one of the most amazing things about when you start tracking your food is you realize that you've either been under eating or overeating or not getting enough or getting too much of this. And so it just holds you accountable to make sure that you're getting the right amount of food for you and your goals. And so for myself, I'm a little bit different. I'm trying to put on a little bit of size. I want to put on some muscle. And I also want to lose some fat in the process. So, really, my personal goals, I'm eating a little bit above my maintenance calories. And that's always been my problem. I've always struggled to eat enough. And so what's amazing, as I've been doing tracking consistently for about a month now. My muscle has gone up since I've been tracking, as well as my fat has dropped since I've been tracking. And it's been just a month's time. One of the biggest things with this, though, is I have been tracking my protein, consistently hitting that protein. And for me, that is when I notice the biggest difference in my body. When I am consistently getting the right amount of protein, man, I start to feel, good. My muscles feel good. I feel full throughout the day. And I feel like my best self when I'm getting enough protein in. And so it's been a month of this. I've already seen some great results. Um, the area for me that I carry most of my body fat in is in my stomach. And so that area of my body, since I've tightened this up, has really started to show some results. And I'm excited about that. And I know a lot of our other clients as well that have, been tracking their food have seen some incredible results just in a month's time. One of the things that happens when you start tracking is you're trying to hit the right amount of fats, right amount of carbs, right amount of proteins. And because of this, it's going to cause you a lot of times to not eat out as much. A lot of restaurants will have their food online, and our app, you can scan barcodes of things. If you're eating out, you can also type something in. Like if you go to Chick-fil-A or Chipotle or wherever it is, you can type something in and see it. But a lot of times, some restaurants don't have everything on there, especially like if it's a locally owned restaurant, it's not a chain. A lot of times their food, the nutritional information is just not out. And so if you're wanting to, make sure that you're getting the right amount of foods, a lot of times you will be eating at home and you will be cooking your own food and eating the things that you have prepared at home to make sure you're getting the right amount. And when you do this, what ends up happening is, for a lot of people, this isn't everybody, but for a lot of people, they end up eating better quality food. So they're eating meat that they prepared themselves. They're eating vegetables and fruits and starches, rice. They're eating beans, oats, sweet potatoes, those type of things that they have prepared themselves, and they're cooking their own food. And what ends up happening is they're eating cleaner and the right amounts, and they start to feel better and see results. This is what's happened for me and my wife, Shiloh. It's happened for a lot of our clients that are on this nutrition plan as well. And so it's so important to make sure when you're starting this journey of tracking your food and tracking your nutrition, that you start to prepare your own food. Every single meal is not fast food, right? And then the thing that I really wanted to jump into today is to focus on protein. My wife and I, we make a habit to plan our meals around what protein we're going to be eating. And when I say protein, foods have a lot of times protein, fat, and carbs, all three in them. There's some that, it's 0 grams of fat, or it doesn't have any carbs in it, or doesn't have any protein. But for the most part, you can classify like a meat as like a chicken, a bison, a turkey, a salmon, tuna, those type of things as a protein. So when I say protein, that's what I mean by that. The main dish in our meal is going to be something that has an ample amount of protein. And then from there, that's when we will plan the meal around whatever protein we choose. So, for example, if we're going to have chicken for dinner, a lot of times we will, grill that chicken or bake that chicken, and then we will decide, okay, we want to have rice for dinner with this, and we're going to have some type of vegetable with it. Okay, so that's a basic chicken, rice, and veggie meal. But then you could say, okay, you know what? I want chicken, but I don't necessarily need a lot of carbs. So I'm going to make a chicken salad. So I grill that chicken, but then I turn it into a salad. Or the next thing, I have chicken, and you know what? I'm gonna shred it up, and I'm gonna make chicken tacos with a tortilla and beans and those type of things with it. Or I made my chicken, and you know what? Now I'm going to make a pasta that has a chicken on top. So I'll make pasta, have a sauce, a vegetable, something like that. And so with the same protein, there's so many different kinds of meals that you can have. And so what my wife and I found what works best for us is we kind of cycle through what protein we're going to have that week. And so, not every single meal is the same thing. And so we're not getting sick of it. Our taste buds get to taste something new throughout the week. And ultimately, we have found that works for us. Right now, what we cycle through is we eat a lot of bison. Bison is awesome. It's a little bit leaner than ground beef. And bison, they're not allowed to shoot it up with a bunch of hormones and things like that. So bison has been awesome for us. We eat a lot of chicken, we eat a lot of tuna, we eat a lot of salmon, we eat a lot of turkey. Probably our favorite thing ever, which I don't even want to say this because they always sell out at Costco, is the turkey burger by Columbus. It's 30 grams of protein per burger, only 13 grams of fat, and it's preseasoned. It is incredible. I can, what I do with those, I don't even put a bun on it. Sometimes I put cheese, but sometimes, man, I just grill it and you can eat it right there and get 30 grams of protein. It's phenomenal. So we'll do those turkey burgers. We'll do chicken, bison, salmon, tuna. We'll do ground beef. I mean, we do all sorts of things. Actually, right now, I can smell it downstairs. We got some venison, and we're making a chili with it. So we've got beans in there, we've got the venison, and the chili powder. And it's simple ingredients that we put in there, but man, it is so phenomenal that we're preparing our own food and not going out. So we focus on protein. And then the other tip that I have, when you make your meal around protein, the other thing that you can do is get your snacks. So let's say you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Get your snacks to be things that are protein rich. So, for example, we love the Oikos yogurt cups. They have 15 grams of protein. Right now, we're on this kick. Sam's has oven roasted turkey breast that's sliced. They have different kinds. They also do chicken that's sliced up. Super easy. 3 slices will have anywhere from 11 to 15 grams of protein. You can make a little sandwich with that or just eat the turkey. I'm one of those that just eats the turkey right then and there. The other thing that you can do is, it's not necessarily a protein, but peanuts and different types of nuts, they have protein in them. So even though they're considered a fat, they have protein with it. And so, you could do a, a fruit and nuts and something like that as a snack and still get some protein in. Protein bars, this is where you can start to think about supplements. You can get a protein bar. We love Perfect bars, Built bars, Quest bars. Bear Bells is one of our favorites. Something like that. And what I would say with the supplements, I've been having this talk with a lot of people, is that you don't want to get your majority of your protein in from supplements. Okay. So for example, if you're somebody that needs to get 150 grams of protein in, I don't want to look at your daily log and see that you had 2 protein shakes for 60 grams of protein. Then you had a protein bar that was 20 grams. So that's 80 grams of protein right there, which is more than half of your daily intake just from supplemental protein. And then, you eat you have a smoothie and put protein in that, which is a supplement that you put in there. So then you're up to 100 grams. And then, you'll have dinner that maybe will have 30 grams of protein. And you're like, I have 20 left. Okay, I'm going to have another protein bar. And it's like at the end of the day, you only had 20, 30 grams of real food protein. The rest of it was supplemental. And so what I want to challenge you with is to find the majority of your daily protein intake in real food. Okay. I personally try to limit myself to only one supplemental protein. So either a protein shake or a protein bar. I know that I feel personally like you're going to get the right amount if you do supplements. But personally, I found from my own experience, I'm sure we could get the studies out and see, but I feel better when I'm eating real food. When I'm just slamming the shakes and slamming protein bars and stuff, I don't feel my best. We have clients that have this same thing happen when they see how much protein they need. They're like, there's no way I can get it through my diet. So they start slamming the shakes, they start slamming the bars, and they're like, oh, I don't feel good. I would try to focus on getting real food. Real food is what's going to make you feel your best. It's also going to help you look your best as well. I feel like when you eat real food, the bloating isn't as bad. That's just personal experience myself. I'm sure we could get the studies out and look at it together. But just off the top of my head, I know I feel better when I'm eating real food. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is water intake. It is very important to make sure that you're drinking water throughout the day. One of the things that this can do is help keep you full. Liquids can help keep you full, especially if you're dieting and restricting your calories. What works for a lot of people that we've found is coffee or some type of caffeine. And then the other thing is water intake. I want to challenge you to not just be drinking water throughout the day. Find an electrolyte supplement that is not filled with sugar, but it's good for your body to have the right amount of sodium, potassium, and those type of things when you're taking in water to make sure that you're hydrated. I know personally I kind of struggle with migraines. I would get them when I was younger and things like that. But when I have enough salt in my diet and I am drinking enough water and have enough caffeine, man, I found that those go away. Again, that's supplemental, that's just personal to me. It doesn't have to mean that that's science for everybody, but electrolytes help tremendously. I saw a doctor talking about making sure that you have sodium, potassium, those type of things when you're staying hydrated. And it helps migraines, and it's helped me personally. So that's a little tip out there. The other thing that I want to make sure that you're doing when you're dieting, tracking your food, is that you're not beating yourself up. We found this with clients when they first get started, is they get hyper fixated on getting the right amount, and then what happens is after 2 weeks they start to lose interest, or they start life starts to happen. They go to a football game on Saturday, or they're at a family get together Sunday, and they can't eat what they were trying to eat throughout the week. And so they beat themselves up, or they get upset that they went over their macros, or they didn't get enough, and so they just get upset. And what I want to encourage you with as you're dieting, as you're tracking your nutrition, as you're working on you, give yourself grace. Do not beat yourself up. Do not stop just because you mess up once. There's the example of when somebody falls off a horse into the mud. You don't lay around and run or roll around in the mud and say, oh, I'm so muddy. No, you get up off the ground, you wipe the mud off you, the dirt off you, and you get back on the horse and you keep going. It's the cliche. It's not how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get back up. And the same is true with your diet, with your nutrition, with your life. Don't beat yourself up, and don't wallow around just because you make a mistake, or don't do what you want to do. Give yourself grace, and keep trucking, keep going. Don't let one day stop you. Don't let 2 days stop you. Don't let 3 months stop you. You know, it's insane, but coming up, it's September now. Coming up here in November, America, we have Thanksgiving. And you know what that means? We've got pumpkin pie, we've got stuffing, we've got all these types of foods that people love, desserts, desserts, desserts. And what happens is Thanksgiving is on the Thursday. What happens is people eat on Thanksgiving, and then a lot of times they'll go out to eat on Fridays, or they'll eat leftovers, and then that goes into Saturday, and then that goes into Sunday. And then guess what? It's December and Christmas parties start to happen. Holiday parties start to happen. Get togethers happen. And what ends up happening is from November, Thanksgiving, until after New Year's, the average American gains 11 pounds. 11 pounds in about a 6-week time frame. If you think about that, in 5 years, if you just fall into the daily American life, you have gained 55 pounds in 5 years. 55 pounds. But what I want to encourage you and challenge you with is Thanksgiving is one day, Christmas, Christmas Eve, and New Year's, and then another holiday get together. But it's 4, 5, 6 days that you're having these get togethers in about a 6-week time period. Don't let those 4 days turn into 6 weeks where you gain 11 pounds. You know, you can have a day where you maybe eat whatever you want. You can have 2 days, 3 days. But what happens is people form these habits by eating the sugar, eating all this stuff, and they get out of control. They spiral out of control. Don't let that be you. You know, I want to encourage you and challenge you. Um, give yourself time to enjoy yourself, but also don't let these days turn into weeks, turn into months, and turn into years, and find yourself building bad habits just off of one get together. A few other tips that I had on my heart to share today. I tell people this one a lot. This one is when you're at a get together, when you're at a party, a holiday get together, whatever it may be, only eat the sweet that you really, really want. I know I can't tell you how many times I've been to a party where they have a birthday cake or they have, cookies or something. And I look at them, and honestly, I wouldn't go to the store and buy them myself, right? There, maybe it's a flavor I don't like. Maybe it's a cookie I don't like, or whatever it is. And it's okay to say no. You're not being disrespectful by saying no. Um, get something to drink. Get a sparkling water. Get something to drink, and just drink on something. And you don't have to always be eating just because it's there. I found for myself, if it's really, really something that I want, like if it's a Barbie's cookie, that's it here in Tulsa, man, I'm gonna have one. Why? I like it. I enjoy it. That's life. But you know what I'm not doing? I'm not eating the Barbie's cookie and the lemon bar that I don't really like and the strawberry cake that I don't really like, and then going home and ordering more the next day, and then getting more the next day, and letting that turn into a lifestyle. You can have things and enjoy them, but don't let it become your everything. Okay. Focus on protein first, and then let the other things sprinkle in here and there. But I found that to be the best as far as balancing your life and your diet and what your goals are. We were meant to enjoy this life. It doesn't have to be something that you're restricting yourself forever. But if you want to look and feel your best, focus on your protein intake, focus on these type of things as you're going along. And if you have more questions about this, like, well, I don't even know where to get started, man, Tulsa and Owasso Training, we have launched our nutrition coaching, where things like that I just talked about are going to be relayed along to you. We're going to be telling you exactly how many protein, fats, and carbs you need to be having throughout the day, specific to you and your goals. We're also going to be holding you accountable. So we're going to be able to look back and see, all right, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, here's what you had. Why don't we try to switch this for breakfast? Or why don't you add a protein here? Or maybe swap this out for that? And we'll be able to help you make sure that you're doing the right things to reach your goals. The other thing that's going to be awesome about it is our InBody. So we have an InBody machine, which is the body composition analyzer. So it tells you how much muscle your body has. Obviously, it tells you how much you weigh, but what you weigh needs to be broken down. What's inside that, right? So it'll tell you how much you weigh, your skeletal muscle mass, and your body fat, and then how much water is in your body. And so from there, we're able to set some realistic goals for you, and not just say you need to weigh this number. You know, just because you weigh a certain amount doesn't mean that you're healthy, or doesn't mean that you're the best version of you. And so don't get that number so in your head that I have to weigh this amount. When you do the InBody, it'll show you that, man, I can change muscle for fat, or I can adjust this to there and make sure that I'm the best version of myself. And so our nutrition clients, they do this. Our clients at Tulsa and Owasso Training, they do this to keep track of their progress. And so this is how you can see amazing, amazing results. Accountability. That's what it's all about. Accountability. But these have been some nutrition tips. I hope these helped. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. And if you're interested in signing up for a nutrition coaching, you can click the link in this description. But we appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.